So we're standing in the Walker Art Gallery Sculpture Gallery in front of what I think is probably the most fun of all the sculptures in this gallery. It's Puck, who is the mischievous little elf from Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. And it's just a brilliant sculpture. As you look at the front, you see him looking quite mischievous. He's got a lizard in one hand and a beetle in the other, and he's got his arm raised if he's about to throw the beetle at you. And then as you walk round the sculpture, you get to his wings at the back, which are like bat wings. So he does look like a very mischievous, almost demon-like little boy sitting on this mushroom, which I'm sure looks a bit like the one that Alice in Wonderland would have had to eat. So it's this really fun piece, and it's by a female sculptor called Harriet Hosmer, who was actually America's first female sculptress. And in the early 19th century, there just wasn't training available to her as a woman. So she left America and went to Rome and got trained up there and became one of the most successful sculptors working in Rome at the time. But because she hadn't received training when she was in America, she decided when she was in Rome to set up a sisterhood of sculptresses and actually took on other female pupils to give them the training that she couldn't get. And we'll go upstairs now and have a look at one of her pupils' works. So we're standing in front of a bust by Edmonia Lewis, who was one of Harriet Hosmer's pupils. Harriet Hosmer, as I said, was America's first female sculptress, and Edmonia Lewis was another first. She was America's first black female sculptress. So it's really interesting that Harriet Hosmer attracted Edmonia to her sisterhood and offered her the training that she couldn't get over in America. And the sculpture is a bust of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, who was an American superstar. He was a poet. I guess he's sort of the equivalent in celebrity status as Simon Cowell, really. He was that well known in America and Britain, and he sold thousands of books. And Edmonia in particular was really moved by his works because she was half African American and half Native American. And Longfellow in particular wrote many poems about Native American culture, and so she was really drawn to his works. But actually she was able to make this bust when she was in Rome because Longfellow himself went to visit Rome, and it appears that what she did to draw him was follow him round and sneak around with her notebook and kind of peer behind corners to try and get a good look at him. And then she did her sketches and made a plaster copy of it for him, had that on display in her studio, and managed to persuade his brother to come and see it. And the brother thought it was such a good likeness that really Longfellow himself should come and properly sit for it because she hadn't quite got the nose right. And so then once she had him sitting for her, she was able to produce this brilliant, really gorgeous bust of him, which the first bust was sold to Harvard University, and the second bust, which is this one here, was sold to a merchant from Liverpool who brought it back to England.